Moving on, our focus now on Pure Storage, an American company that develops an all-flash storage products in both hardware and software. This NASDAQ-listed company says that it spends 18 to 20% of its revenue on research and development. It has now announced its plan to expand research and development capabilities in India and set up a new R&D center in Bengaluru. To discuss this and more, we're now joined by Mr. Ajay Singh, the Global Head for Product Strategy at Pure Storage. Mr. Singh, thank you for joining us here on CNBC-TV18. Tell us about Pure Storage, the company's global strategy right now, the big focus, and where does India fit in your global plans?
Thank you for having me, Preakshan, on the show. So Pure Storage is the next generation of flash-based enterprise and service provider storage system company, which was founded in Silicon Valley, did an IPO several years ago, and has been growing very robustly. And actually, most recently, we posted our Q1 results showing 50% year-over-year growth. And as the company has grown out of Silicon Valley, we're also growing our global footprint. And as part of that growth, India and the emerging markets play a big role. India is a big part of the emerging markets portfolio. And we are starting to also put the R&D center in India to grow our R&D footprint so that we can tap into global talent, so that we can continue our innovation pace that we have, continue to invest 18 to 20% of our revenue into R&D and really tapping some of the resources out of India.
Right. Give us a sense of how much capital have you allocated for your India R&D center, and what will this R&D center be focusing on in the near term and the long term?
Sure. So so generally overall our capital growth into the R&D area tends to be north of 20% year over year, which is the growth rate of Pure on an average, even though we did 50% in the most recent quarter. And we tend to allocate that across North America, Central Europe and Prague and India. And what I can tell you is that the India R&D center is the fastest growing center across all R&D centers. Of course, all of them are growing because Pure is growing in a very robust fashion, but the India R&D center in particular is growing much faster, and we continue to want to do that. We've selected Bengaluru as our place for many, many reasons. We've done several studies, and obviously most recently, we just put out a study called Flash Forward jointly with Zinnov that talks about talent in the data storage, data management space worldwide, and India, having close to 700,000 professionals with the kind of skill sets that we look for, and Bengaluru having up to 30% of that talent pool, with more senior talent pool in Bengaluru. Hence kind of the decision to come to Bengaluru. We tend to also recruit at the highest end, the upper quartile of the talent. So we are not shy to compete for talent with the Googles and the Metas and the unicorn startups of the world, and we are pretty successful with great close rates. So that's why we've put our office in the Central Business District, which is a very attractive location for talent. The metro comes in there and all of that, and we are wrapping it around our Portworx team that was already in India, in Bengaluru and Pune. That's the seed, and we are rapidly looking to grow that. So today we actually inaugurated the center, and the Honorable Minister for the Karnataka state government came to inaugurate that for us.
Give us a sense of how much revenue is Pure Storage able to generate from the India market, and when it comes to expanding your client base, how many clients do you have here in India, and what are the expansion plans for Pure Storage in India?
Yeah, so Pure Storage in India is, like I said, it's an emerging market. It's high growth for us, and we have a full-fledged staff here, country managers, sales teams. In addition to that, we also now putting the R&D center, and we hope out of the R&D center to also get a customer visit center set up, including working with a lot of the global system integrators, the likes of Wipro, TCS, Tech Mahindra of the world. A lot of them are headquartered in India, are based out of Bengaluru in many cases. And as we grow in the enterprise space, these global system integrators play a bigger and bigger role for us. I'm unable to give details at the India level, but suffice it to say, India is growing faster than the average of Pure Storage. That's the nature of the emerging markets. And we are super excited about our investments in India in particular.
Okay. And my final question, we're running out of time, but any key areas where you see your products, your offerings generating the greatest amount of revenues for you globally? Any particular growth areas that you can tell us about?
Yes, of course. So for us, particularly out of India, just to kind of give you a sense, we are a leader in Kubernetes data management that kind of helps for stateful applications in Kubernetes, for modern applications, container-based applications. And our product there, Portworx, the R&D center for that is across Mountain View and in Bengaluru in India. And that product is growing north of 100% for us, doubling in size year over year. And a lot of the contributions for the key products for that come out of the India R&D center, which was already in place. In addition, of course, our core storage products, our FlashArray, FlashBlade products, including our cloud operating model product sets that we have around Pure Fusion. These products essentially provide enterprise-grade all-flash storage for commercial markets, enterprises, as well as service providers and hyperscalers. And that's kind of the basis. Ultimately, if you think about it, long-term, we are riding the wave that flash is displacing hard disk. As the price of flash gets cheaper and cheaper, why does anybody want to use hard disks? Because hard disks are big size, refrigerator size appliances that consume a lot of energy because of the spinning disk and all the mechanical work you need to do. Flash, on the other hand, is the size of a microwave oven, dramatically smaller, and typically consumes 1/10 of the power, dramatically lower power consumption because it has no spinning mechanical system that's all solid state. So you can imagine we had this huge win at Meta, Facebook at the AI Research Supercluster. We announced that recently, where Meta was looking at building out new data centers for all the work to do with the NVIDIA processing, AI processing engines. And when they were looked at Pure Storage, they found that they could dramatically cut their footprint. Right. In fact, they didn't need to build another data center. They could just easily fit it in the existing data center and have petabytes of storage in a little microwave oven size appliance. So that's the heart of what Pure is.
Okay.
Our general energy consumption, as well as our footprint, tends to be about 1/10 of what other systems of storage tend to be. And if you think about all this noise about climate change and how can we be more efficient in our energy consumption and go to solar and all that, Pure fits very nicely in it. We dramatically reduce the amount of power and space used in data centers.
Right. And finally, when it comes to ease of doing business, as you start off an R&D center here in Bengaluru, any expectations on what the Indian government could do to encourage companies like yours to shift base to India or expand in India?
I have to say, super compliments to the government of India in terms of being really easy, in particular the state of Karnataka, being super easy to go set up sites here. I've been working with Bangalore since the year 1999, have various stages, have R&D centers across different organizations. And I can tell you it has been really easy to work in Bangalore, attract the talent. And that was one of the big reasons why we chose India, not only the talent, but also the ease of doing business. And it's just all kudos. Obviously, we are going to invest back in the region with training and work relationships with the local universities, have internship programs and co-op kind of programs for students as we bring them in. And obviously, we're also looking to tap into the great talent base here, particularly senior talent that's available in the data management and data storage space in the Bangalore area. So really bullish on Bangalore, very bullish on India.
All right, bullish on Bangalore, bullish on India. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajay Singh, for joining us here, telling us about Pure Storage plans for the India market and where India fits in your global strategy as well.